Okay, Pachyderm from Yoshi's Story. This pesky Pachyderm bears Yoshi's path by sticking poles high into the air. Pachyderm has been practicing this skill for years, and he's so masterful that he can even block Yoshi's high-flying flutter jump. Pachyderm is a little unstable, however, and he tends to topple over if Yoshi pounds the ground anywhere nearby. Here is Paper Mario. How do you get the Paper Mario trophy? As demonstrated in my home run contest portion of this project, you have to... What's the number? I wrote it down. You have to clear 1,476 feet in home run contest with any one character. The Star Rod. Bowser stole it, and Mario wants it back. Bowser vs. Mario is familiar for Mario aficionados, but Paper Mario is novel. What this game brings to the 3D polygon-filled gaming world is its art style. Everything is wafer thin. Oh, I thought that said water for a second. Okay, wafer thin. What the visuals lack in realism, they more than make up for in unique artistry. Here is the Parasol from Kirby's Dream Land. The Parasol, which was originally used by Kirby, can be used as a weapon to bludgeon enemies. Even better is the fact that players can open it while airborne and float lazily back towards safe ground. It's incredibly useful in returning to the field of play after an opponent gets the better of you and sends you flying. Here is the Party Ball from Melee. Party balls are just what they sound like, a recipe for wild fun packed into a paper ball. Throw or strike one into the air, then wait for it to trigger its time release. Parties are always unpredictable, so here are the odds on how zany your party might be. Self-destruction, 10%. Food Banquet, 36%. Bomb Fest, 12%. Other, 42%. That's why I actually like reading some of the trophy descriptions, because I actually did not know that. I'm actually reading a lot of these trophy descriptions for the first time, and I did not know that was the probability of all the outcomes for the Party Ball. So, here is Paula from Earthbound. Paula is a Psy Master who used her incredible psychic abilities to call Ness from afar. Ness rescued Paula from the blue-stained clutches of the happiest cult, and she... the happiest cult? How about the redundancy cult? And she became integral to his Earthbound adventure. Originally, Ness didn't know either PK Thunder or PK Fire, so Paula probably taught him these techniques. Here's Peach from Super Mario Bros. Princess Peach presides over the Mushroom Kingdom from her huge castle. Her loyal subject Toad does his best to protect her, but always seems to fall spectacularly. Besides her royal duties, Peach is interested in both tennis and golf. Since she's so magnanimous, okay, she'll even deign to play a few matches with the evil Bowser. Throwing in some SAT vocab words there. Okay, I haven't seen that word in a while. Peach's ability to float is invaluable in Super Smash Bros. Melee, as she can return from incredible distances. Balancing this talent, though, is the fact that she's quite light and therefore can be sent flying with a single powerful attack. Unfortunate, but that is true. Her attacks are fairly weak, so you'll have to hang around to win. Peach's Smash A attack will set her swinging with either a frying pan, tennis racket, or golf club. These bludgeoning devices appear randomly and have different reaches and power levels. The princess uses Toad to absorb attacks, and he counters by sending spores out at attackers. Don't worry about the little guy, though. He takes his job seriously. Here's Peppy Hare from Star Fox. Peppy was a member of the original Star Fox team with Fox's father, James McCloud. Not to be confused with the same guy from F-Zero. Peppy was the sole survivor of the Battle of Venom, where a treacherous teammate named Pigma Dengar, betrayed the team. Peppy now rarely climbs into the cockpit of an Arwing, preferring instead an advisory position in mission planning. Here is the useless Pichu from Pokemon Gold and Silver, a baby electric-type Pokemon identifiable by its big ears. Pichu evolves into Pikachu. It's not very skilled at storing up electrical energy and will sometimes discharge it if jarred. Although it's small, it has enough electrical power to give even an adult quite a shock. It's often startled by its own power. Compare with Pikachu, Pichu is a tad more nimble and a little more difficult to hit. Those are the only two advantages, however, and since Pichu damages itself when it uses electrical attacks, it's best suited for handicap matches. Even though Pichu's tough to catch, it's easy to throw its tiny frame great distances. Pichu is the lightest character in Super Smash Bros. Melee, and it's top of the class. It's top of the class in weakness. Is that a typo I see? And it's top of the class in weakness. Oh, Lord. For Pichu, it's all about scampering here and there to pick up items that will help it survive. The first warp in agility causes 1 point of damage to Pichu, and the second causes 3, so try to limit the number of times you use the move. Here's Pidgeot from Super Mario Bros. 2. Again, I mentioned this earlier, but just in case some people forgot, you can get this trophy or Birdo to get the Subcon / Mushroom Kingdom 2 level. Pidgeots are wingless birds enchanted by the vegetable-hating Wart to be the bearers of bad dreams. They live in Subcon, a land contained within Mario's dreams, where they fly around on magic carpets. Mario and friends were able to use these carpets for short distances once they dislodged the piloting Pidgeot. Here's good old Pikachu from Pokemon Red and Blue. It's safe to say that Pikachu is the most famous and popular of all Pokemon. It has electric pouches in both cheeks. When in danger, it shoots electricity at its enemies. Although Pikachu can evolve into Raichu by exposure to a Thunderstone, many trainers like Pikachu so much that they don't let it evolve. While its electric attacks, such as Thunder and Thunder Jolt, are powerful, Pikachu is at its best speeding around the fray and waiting for its chance to strike. You can control the path of Pikachu's two-directional quick attack, allowing you to jump twice. Hold down the B button to charge up Skull Bash. The angle of the control stick controls the direction of Pikachu's quick attack. Pikachu will move blindingly fast, and it will also cause damage to any character it runs into. Move the control stick during the quick attack, and Pikachu will move in up to 2 directions. Be sure to check out the ceilings on the level when you use Thunder. Here's Pikmin from the game of the same name. These strange beings are part plant, part animal. They spend most of their time buried in the earth, but they will befriend whoever plucks them, as evidenced by their devotion to Captain Olimar. Each Pikmin has a leaf on its head that grows into a bud and finally a flower. Like a flower, the life of a Pikmin is both fragile and beautiful. Here's Pit from Kid Icarus. The head of Palutena's personal bodyguard, Pit traveled near and far to gather 3 sacred treasures that would help him defeat the evil goddess of darkness, Medusa, and free Palutena. The goddess of light, Pit couldn't fly with his little wings. Only the wings of Pegasus let him take flight. Will Pit ever fight again? Oh, the foreshadowing, Nintendo. Oh my god. And I just gotta say this. I fucking hated this guy in Brawl. It was kind of a personal thing, though. I had a friend in middle school. Well, I shouldn't say friend. I couldn't stand him. I had an acquaintance in middle school who would... Oh my god, he was so annoying. And he used this guy constantly. And it was... In the very few times I played Brawl with friends when I was younger... Oh my god, this guy would just spam... I can't remember what Pit's spamming projectile was, but he would use that to no end. Ugh, god, it was so annoying. Anyway, On a lighter note, here's Plum from Mario Golf. Plum is one of the first playable characters in Mario Golf. She's not all that strong, so her drives tend to lack distance. On the other hand, her strike area is large and allows for refined control. She's a very stable golfer, both well balanced and easy to master, which makes her a favorite among beginners and pros alike. I didn't play Mario Golf N64 all that much, but I remember when I did, I liked Plum a lot. Plum was a lot of fun, and she's so freaking cute. Here's the Poison Mushroom from Super Mario All-Stars. Poison Mushrooms made their debut in Super Mario All-Stars, where they cost characters a life if picked up. These nasty fungi are dark and foul tasting, and in Super Smash Bros. Melee, they make you shrink on contact. With your diminished stature comes a loss of power and mass, making you a prime target to get smashed off screen with even a light attack. Here, of course, is the Pokeball from F-Zero. These balls are used to capture and contain wild Pokemon. Most Pokemon must be weakened in some way before they can be captured. But once they're inside a Pokeball, they enjoy their new home since Pokeballs contain an environment specifically designed for Pokemon comfort. Master Balls are the strongest type. Of course, there's Pokemon Stadium from from the game of the same name. Trainers come from far and wide to congregate at Pokemon Stadium, the ultimate venues to show off their Pokemon teams. There are many different arenas with varying terrain designs, some of which afford advantages to certain Pokemon. This particular stadium is reserved for huge events and boasts a big screen and spectacular fireworks. Here's the Polar Bear from Ice Climber. This bizarre beast appears whenever the Ice Climbers take 5 during their ascents. Each leap the upright bear makes causes an earthquake and makes the mountain scroll upward. If the climbers fall off the bottom of the screen, they'll drop into a bottomless chasm. For reasons unknown, it sports pink shorts and sunglasses. Here's Poliwhirl from Pokemon Red and Blue. Poliwhirl is an amphibious Pokemon able to live on either land or in the water. When on dry land, it's constantly sweating to keep its skin nice and slimy. When in danger, it spins the whirlpool marking on its stomach to put enemies into a deep sleep. Then it runs away. It evolves into either Poliwrath or Politoed. Here is Pooh from Earthbound. Pooh, the crown prince of the mysterious eastern country of Dalam, joined Ness after completing rigorous training in his home country. While he doesn't stand out among Ness's friends, his vast experience and strong willpower make him a key to their success. Pooh can assume the form of an enemy to gain its power. Here's Porygon 2 from Pokemon Gold and Silver. Representing the next step in technological progress, this virtual Pokemon is a higher-powered version of the man-made Pokemon, Porygon. Compared to the sharp edges of its relative, Porygon 2's body is extremely smooth and rounded in battle. It utilizes a special move called Conversion to alter its type. Here's Princess Peach's castle. First seen, I guess, in Super Mario 64. Princess Peach's magnificent royal castle appears to be inhabited solely by the princess and a multitude of toads. Bowser tried to steal the castle's power stars in Super Mario 64 and in Paper Mario. The surly Archfiend actually lifted the castle into the stratosphere with his own filthy fortress. Here's Professor Oak from Pokemon Red and Blue, the leading expert on the study of Pokemon. It seems there are always new and mysterious species of Pokemon being brought to light, and Professor Oak is at the heart of it all with his insightful research. The Pokedex is one of his inventions. New trainers receive one and a Pokemon to boot when they start out. Okay, here's Raccoon Mario from Super Mario Bros. 3. In Super Mario Bros. 3, super leaves caused by Mario to grow raccoon ears and a tail. By sprinting and rapidly wagging the tail, Mario gained the ability to fly for short periods. Like the cape in Super Mario World, the tail also reduced the speed at which he fell, making mid-air moves easier. Needless to say, real raccoons were jealous. Here's the racing kart from Super Mario Kart. The famous racing karts from the ever-popular Mario Kart racing series came loaded for speed with 3 different engine sizes: 50, 100, and 150cc. The kart's handling differs with the characters driving them. But all of them utilize Mario Kart standards like drift, jump, and turbo. They're extremely durable and impossible to total. And I gotta say, I cannot freaking wait to play Mario Kart Double Dash on this channel. Oh my god, that was the best freaking Mario Kart game ever. Raikou from Pokemon Gold and Silver. These violent lightning Pokemon travel near and far, blasting out electrified whirlwinds. They carry storm clouds on their backs so they can produce lightning, regardless of the local weather. It's even said that they descended to the earth via lightning bolts. Their extreme quickness lends itself to flight, so they're very hard to capture. There was Raphael Raven from Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. The basically laid-back ravens come in several sizes. The smaller ones travel in flocks or trapeze. Is that how you spell it? Oh, I don't know. Okay. Trapeze around small platforms all day long. The biggest of their breed is called Raphael the Raven, and his enormous size renders most direct attacks useless. Instead of fighting, Raphael and the Ravens helped Mario out in Paper Mario. Here's the Raygun from Super Smash, the OG Super Smash Bros. The Raygun is toy-like in appearance and shoots short, fat, highly reflected beams of green light. The gun is fairly weak, but since it fires so fast, it can easily juggle enemies. It contains enough energy for only 16 shots. Try dropping it with a few shots left and watch your foes waste time and energy retrieving it. Here is Ray MK2. I don't know if it's Ray MK2 or Raymic 2, but I've always called him Ray MK2. From Custom Robo 2. Someone emailed me if I'm ever gonna do Custom Robo on the GameCube. I've actually never played it, but I'm more than willing to give it a shot. But I've never played it before, so. The Custom Robo games feature combat between small robots averaging about 12 inches in height. Ray MK2 is the upgraded descendant of one of the combatants from the original game. It's a well-balanced jumper model in the Shining Fighter line of robots. Its stable design lets it excel with a minimum of customization. Here is the always pleasant-looking Redhead from Ocarina of Time. 7 years after Ganondorf took control of Hyrule, Redhead's renamed the ruins of Castletown. Moaning. At first, Link was shocked at the state of the town and the apparent lack of survivors. He later learned that the townsfolk had evacuated to safety and that the Redheads were just magic animated into hideous humanoid shapes. Here's the red shell from Super Mario Bros. Throw a red shell and it will home in on random characters and send them flying straight up. Red shells moving around the surface are dangerous to all players, but they may also present attack chances for players with good timing and strategy. Red shells won't leave the platform they're on once they start moving. Here is Rick from Kirby's Dream Land 2. Rick made his debut alongside Kirby's other friend, Koo in Kine. He looks like a meek hamster, but when he puffs himself up, he's bigger than Kirby. When he's carrying Kirby on his back, he can mimic Kirby's copy powers with some special moves of his own. Rick's claim to fame is his exceptional traction on icy surfaces. Here is Ridley from Metroid, the head of the space pirates on Zebes. Ridley soars through space on wicked wings. Ridley may look like a mindless monster, but he's actually quite intelligent. After the SR-388 incident, where Samus captured the infant Metroid, Ridley took the Space Academy by storm, annihilating the complex and taking the Metroid back. Here is my boy Roy from Fire Emblem, the son of the Lord of Fare Principality. Roy was studying in Ostia when the Kingdom of Bern invaded League of Lycia. His father fell ill at this time, so Roy assumed leadership of Fare's armies. After his faithful meeting with the Princess Jin, I don't even know. His destiny became inextricably linked with the fate of the entire continent. While Roy's moves are well balanced, he's a little on the slow side and doesn't excel at mid-air combat. His blade, the Sword of Seals, gives him excellent reach and makes his double-edged dance slightly different than Mart's dancing blade. When it's fully charged, Roy's destructive flare blade delivers an instant KO. Roy's blade is different than Mart's. He does the most damage hitting with the center of his sword, so a fearless advance into the arms of his foe is Roy's best bet. Blazer is a bit slower than Mart's Dolphin Slash, but it's still a mighty attack that sets anyone it strikes aflame. Roy's attack after using the counter differs slightly from Mart's. Here is Ryota Hayami from Wave Race 64. I believe this dude also came back for Blue Storm on the GameCube. An 18-year-old Wave Race competitor from Japan. While he doesn't appear to have one outstanding trait, his acceleration, top speed, and maneuverability are quite well balanced. In Wave Race Blue Storm, he's done away with his helmet and goggles in an attempt to make his face more recognizable across the world. And when I used to play Wave Race 64, I have not played Wave Race Blue Storm in a very long time, but when I used to play Wave Race 64, this guy was my go-to homie. Okay, up next, we've got Samurai Goro, who first made his appearance in the OG F-Zero. Oddly enough, probably one of my least favorite drivers. I got nothing against Goro personally, but I'm just not a big fan of the Fire Stingray from any of the F-Zero games. A rival bounty hunter, Samurai Goro has crossed paths with Captain Falcon in many a dark corner of the universe. He also goes head-to-head with Falcon in F-Zero races, so the threads of their fates seem to be deeply intertwined. Samurai Goro is famous for his katana, and his signature t-shirt is instantly recognizable. Here is Samus Aran from the OG Metroid. This intergalactic bounty babe, excuse me, this intergalactic bounty hunter's full name is Samus Aran, clad in a power suit made by the Chozo race and infused with their enhanced blood. She cleared the planet Zebes of a Metroid infestation. Samus is an orphan, the sole survivor of a space pirate raid that destroyed an Earth colony named K2L. Samus has an abundance of projectile weapons, making her a long-distance attack specialist. The most powerful weapon in her arsenal is her charge shot, but be warned, it can be reflected. Her missiles have homing capabilities, but when fired as smash attacks, they fly on a straight trajectory and have boosted power. While Samus's arsenal of missile weapons is indeed formidable, her enemies are in for a rude awakening if they guard against nothing else. Her grappling beams captures foes and latches onto walls, and the screw attack drags foes upward in a series of spins that doubles as a recovery move. Samus can also use her bombs to perform bomb jumps. Here is Samus's starship from Metroid 2, The Return of Samus. How did we get the Samus's starship, you may ask? You have to complete the second part of the Metroid portion. That's the escape from Planet Zebes. I think that's the official name of it. You have to complete that second part of Adventure Mode, of the Metroid portion of Adventure Mode, successfully. Yeah, without dying, I guess. Anyway. Oh, I'm sorry, I wrote it down. It's actually not called Escape from Planet Zebes. It's called Escape from Brinstar. Yeah, that's what you have to call it. Okay. Thankfully, I wrote that down. So, I am my own fact checker. This compact ship is used by Samus as her base of operations. Of course, Samus can't fly it into the catacombs of every planet she visits, so she leaves it on the surface as her sanctuary. Samus can recharge her power suit inside the ship, so it tends to be the only safe and secure spot on inhospitable alien terrain. Here is the sandbag from Super Smash Bros. Melee. How do we get the sandbag? We have to... I wrote it down. That's it. We have to clear 984 feet in home run contest. Yeah, I know most of these offhand, but that one I couldn't remember the number. So, sandbag exists for one reason only: to get smashed in the home run contest. Pound on sandbag as much as possible in the time allotted, then swing for the fences as you compete for the longest home run of all time. Getting hit doesn't hurt sandbag at all. As a matter of fact, it loves to see players wind up and let loose. Here is Scizor from Pokemon Gold and Silver. This evolved form of Scyther has arms ending in large pincers with distinctive eye spot markings. Its evolution also includes the addition of a tough metal coat. It's unable to fly very far with its wings, but it can affect its body temperature by flapping them at high speeds. Its sleek look has made Scizor quite popular among collectors. Here's the Screw Attack from Metroid, one of Samus Aran's power-ups from the original Metroid. The Screw Attack turns a jump into a rotating attack move. When carrying this item, any character's ordinary jump move will turn into a Screw Attack. By the same token, if you throw this item at an enemy, your foe will spontaneously do a Screw Attack. Here is Sheik from The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. This is Zelda's alter ego, using a variation of the name of the ancient Sheikah tribe. She appears before Link and teaches him melodies instrumental to his success. It's believed that she's not just a quick change artist, but rather she is able to instantaneously alter her clothing and her eye and skin color by using her magical skills. Strategically switching between Zelda and Sheik is key. Compared to her Zelda form, Sheik is nimble and has gorgeous moves, but she lacks a strong knockout attack. The number of needles thrown in Needle Storm is based on how long you hold the B button before releasing it. Use the control stick to wave the chain after brandishing it. The best strategy to use when playing as Sheik is to let her flow from one powerful attack into another, like a river of Quicksilver. Zelda has some techniques with more punch, however, so in one-on-one battles, use Transform as needed. Sheik only travels a short way when using Vanish, but the move comes with the small explosion that damages foes around her. Here is Sheriff from, I think this is an arcade game of the same name, but was obviously only released in Japan. How do you get Sheriff? Sheriff was a bitch. You have to complete target tests with all characters. Combined 12 minutes, 30 seconds. That's it. Yep. Okay. Sheriff is a game with a particularly long history, even among Nintendo arcade games. You aim the sheriff's gun by way of an 8-directional dial controller, which you would depress to fire. The goal of this frontier shooter was to protect the territory from various scoundrels and ne'er-do-wells. Here's the Shy Guys from Super Mario Bros. 2, even though that's what they look like in Yoshi's Story. There are many types of Shy Guys. They've been known to walk on the ground, fly through the air, trapeze about on stilts, wear flowers or camouflage, throw balls, swing bats, sail on pirate ships, carry fruit, do the bamboo dance, ride submarines, play guitar, play tennis, wear red, come in large or small sizes, steal people's toys, cause mischief. Okay, I like how this fucking trophy description is basically just a fucking list. And also, these are technically Fly Guys. Game, what the fuck? Okay, here's Slippy Toad from Star Fox. What the hell with that Shy Guy description? My god. Slippy Toad is the mechanical genius behind most of the Star Fox team's new weapons and technology. And just lately, he's been spending the bulk of his time in research and development. He's also a competent pilot, but his enthusiasm tends to outweigh his technical flight skills. He and Fox have been friends ever since their school days. Here are the Smash coins. How do you get the Smash coins? This one was stupid to get because you have to play 100 coin battles in versus mode. And I hate coin battles. It's so boring. I'll talk more about that in the final video of this project. These coins are used in Super Smash Bros. Melee coin battle mode. The gold coins are worth 10 points, silver are worth 5, and the copper are worth 1. Hit an opponent and coins will come raining down. If you're knocked off the screen, you'll lose half of your coins. Once the time is up, the player with the most coins wins. Oh, really? Anyway, here's Snorlax from Pokemon Red and Blue. Snorlax love to sleep and love to eat. These portly Pokemon get grumpy if they don't get 880 pounds of food per day. After snacking out, they always nap. They have cast iron stomachs and can eat moldy and even rotten foods with no digestion problems. They are the heaviest Pokemon on record, weighing in at over 1,000 pounds. Alright, here's Squirtle from Pokemon Red and Blue. Retreating into its shell and spitting water at its foes is Squirtle's trademark response to danger. It's one of the 3 Pokemon that trainers can receive from Professor Oak in Pokemon Red and Blue. Squirtle evolves into Wartortle and then Blastoise, ramping up its water powers with each evolution. Squirtle, you are a fucking OG and I love you. Here's Stanley, first introduced in Donkey Kong 3. Stanley is a plucky exterminator who takes on Donkey Kong and an army of insects in the 3rd installment of the original Donkey Kong series. Stanley has a tough job. He has to chase Donkey Kong away to another greenhouse with this insect repellent, then climb up the ivy to pump the main hive with the deadly spray. Here's Starman from Super Mario Bros. This item makes you invulnerable to all attacks for a short period of time. The Starman bounces around and eventually tumbles out of the stage, but all you need to do is touch it to power up its possessed similar powers in Super Mario Bros. Except you could also harm enemies just by touching them while under its influence. And here's the Starman from Earthbound, not to be confused by the Starman, not to be confused with the Starman from Super Mario Bros. Just one kooky subset of the diverse cast of enemies in Earthbound. These strange creatures are aliens in the employ of Gygus. Variations of the Starman race include Starman, Starman Jr., Starman Deluxe, and Starman Super. They all use psi powers, but their strength differs depending on the level on which they're found. I have played that Starman, like I can't remember if it's the cliff that time forgot or the cave of the past. I can't remember what that level of Earthbound is, but I have played that level before. And God Almighty, beating these guys are frickin' not easy. Oh my god. Here's the Star Rod from Kirby's Adventure. This magic wand holds 16 star shots and sends foes flying at a low angle when thrown. It's most powerful when Captain Falcon or Sheik performs a smash attack while holding it. I actually didn't know that. Wow. In Kirby's Adventure, the Star Rod is the secret power behind the Fountain of Dreams. King Dedede steals the Star Rod in order to steal away the nasty cloaked nightmare. Here's Staryu from Pokemon Red and Blue. These star-shaped Pokemon that evolve into Starmie are found in large numbers at the seashore. At night, Staryu's red center glows and blinks on and off. It's said that as long as its red center remains, it can regrow its limbs. Whether it's relocated to Cleffa, another Pokemon with a vaguely star-shaped appearance, is unknown. We'll have to contact Steve Wilkos on that. Steelix from Pokemon Gold and Silver. A combination of steel and ground types. Steelix are the longest Pokemon yet to be discovered, reaching over 30 feet in length. Since they live so deep under the surface of the earth, the intense pressure has made their bodies stronger than diamonds. Evolved from Onyx, Steelix is every bit as intimidating as its relative. Here is Sudowoodo from Pokemon Gold and Silver. How do you get Sudowoodo? Gotta play 200 versus mode matches. A copycat Pokemon with an aversion to battle, Sudowoodo always poses as a tree in order to avoid being attacked. Despite their arboreal appearance, these Pokemon are actually rock types and therefore highly vulnerable to water. When it begins to rain, they vanish. Sudowoodo can be found blocking Route 36 in Johto. Here is the OG Suicune from Pokemon Gold and Silver. This mystical aura Pokemon constantly journeys in search of places with pure flowing water. Suicune wields the power to instantly purify any contaminated water it finds. Some say Suicune is the North Wind reborn. Its strange and dramatic story is told over the course of the Crystal version of the Pokemon game. Here is the Super Mushroom from Super Mario Bros. Super Mario Bros. Veterans will recognize these power-ups, which hid inside brick blocks and helped Mario and Luigi withstand enemy attacks. In Super Smash Bros. Melee, they temporarily turn your character into a giant. Not only will your size and strength increase, but so will your mass, making it harder for foes to knock you off. Here is the Super Scope from the SNES game of the same name. A peripheral device for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, the Super Scope is a wireless weapon that shoots infrared light to a receiver placed on top of the television. In Super Smash Bros. Melee, it can be fired rapidly or charged up to release a more powerful blast. It only has enough energy for 3 charge shots. Alrighty, here is the target from Super Smash Bros., the OG Smash Bros. How do I get the target? Well, quite simply, just you gotta complete the target test with all the characters. You gotta smash all 10 targets on all 25 characters target tests. This is one of the targets you must hit and destroy in a bonus stage of Super Smash Bros. Melee. All bonus stages are specifically designed to test the individual abilities of each fighter. Clearing the target-breaking levels requires an ultimate combination of skill, timing, and the specific techniques of each character. Here's Thwomp from Super Mario Bros. 3. Thwomps spend most of their time suspended in midair, waiting. When Mario passes below, they crash down with amazing speed. As you may guess from their appearance, they're heavy and solid enough to make any attack on them futile. Small ones are called Thwimps. Despite their weight, they often form groups and bounce around. Here is Tingle from Majora's Mask. Tingle is a mysterious middle-aged man who thinks he's the very reincarnation of a fairy. His bizarre behavior and unique speech are just little pieces of his vibrant personality. Tingle travels by way of a small hot air balloon, making maps of the lands below him. Pop his balloon and Tingle will fall to Earth to sell his maps. Here's Toad from Super Mario Bros. I also gotta say, Tingle is annoying in the Wind Waker, but he's so freaking useful. Here's Toad from Super Mario Bros. Toad, Peach's longtime servant, first showed off his strength in Super Mario Bros. 2, then proved to be an agile driver in Super Mario Kart. There are many Toads in Peach's castle and across the Mushroom Kingdom, and although they look similar, they have varied natures. Not the best of guards, Toad must often be rescued. Here's Togepi from Pokemon Gold and Silver. These adorable spike-shelled Pokemon hatch from eggs given out by Professor Elm's assistant. Common superstition holds that their shells are chock full of happiness and that they become good luck charms when handled with kindness. It's impossible to predict which ability a Togepi will call upon it when it uses its metronome move, so you'd better be ready. Here is Tom Nook from Future Release. Yes, of course, this is Tom Nook from Animal Crossing. How do you get the Tom Nook trophy? You have to get 1,000 coins. either by doing versus mode matches, by doing things in classic, adventure, or all-star mode. This guy's the friendly neighborhood shopkeeper who kindly helps the player set up in his or her first house. He has a nose for business, and his customer service is second to none. During the course of the game, his store starts as a corner shop, expands to become a convenience store, and then finally becomes a thriving supermarket. Tom Nook was probably one of my earliest inspirations to become an entrepreneur, because I gotta say, I love Tom Nook. Topi from Ice Climber. Topi's debuted in the game Ice Climber, shuttling ice with which to repair cracks in the floors. They were kept really busy as Nana and Popo constantly cracked floors with single strikes of their ice hammers. Despite the monotony of their chilly work, these creatures never slacked off for an instant. Alrighty. Here is Totakiki. You know what? I don't remember if that's what they call them in Japan. There's a reason for that. But here in North America, or at least in my life, I've always called him KK Slider, and I think that's what everyone called him. But anyway, this guy I freaking love. A wandering musician whose daily life is a bit of a mystery. He plays in front of the train station every Saturday night, starting at 8 p.m. He has a large repertoire and plays both old and new hits from all over the world. His music is so ingrained in the villagers that it's impossible to imagine them living without it. Here's Totodile from Pokemon Gold and Silver. Little bit feisty is the best description for those water-type Pokemon. The first thing they do when they see something move is to latch onto it with their powerful jaws. Totodile is one of the 3 Pokemon that Professor Elm offered to trainers in Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal. They evolve into Croconaw. Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. Here's Turtle from Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. When Link played the New Wave Bossa Nova, what masqueraded as a lone island rose out of the waters of the Great Bay Coast and revealed itself to be a giant turtle. This mighty terrapin is ancient and wise beyond belief. It sensed Link's destiny and braved the stormy seas in order to transport him to the Great Bay Temple.